everyone, back-to-back videos are cool, aren't they? I'm just gonna record this and probably post it after I link Nicole337 in the last video. But anyways, this is my story on how I was bullied. It all started when I went to a new school. I moved 0.3 miles out of my original school in 6th grade. So this starts at 7th grade. First semester, first day, nobody talked to me. And I got told it was because I was new. They didn't talk to new kids at this school. They didn't want to be their friend. They didn't want to have anything to do with them. Speed it along to, second semester, January-ish. I had a new Spanish class, like Spanish and reading writing workshop, which was like a reading class, obviously. A reading class, and I had loved my first semester class, which was the reading class, and now it was time to go to Spanish. I had Spanish almost at the end of the day, and the room smelled horrible. And of course, I didn't make a big deal of it, but because of my age group at the time, they made the hugest deal out of it. And I didn't comment any of it, and the dude behind me started it all. I was told I needed to learn how to shower. I was told I was stupid and ugly, and it just continued like that for a while, and then I got picked on for wearing this hoodie. I was obsessed with Twilight at the time. I had the Hot Topic Monster hoodie. I don't want to be a monster hoodie. Here's the front. I have worn this thing. I had worn it every day for about half the year, because where I live, it's cold in the spring. And it was my only hoodie, and it was my favorite hoodie, and it was my warmest hoodie. I have holes in it because I wore it that long, but I washed it every 3 days. I didn't smell. I made sure of that. And as it progressed, once I got told, a girl picked at my hair without me asking, just as a passing by, and pretended she found something. It was like, ew, you have lice. And I didn't have lice. I'm sorry. I got told by a lot of people in that class that I was ugly. I would never have a boyfriend. I would never get married. And that hurt the worst. That really hurt. I had gone to the counselors by that point, and I had gone to my counselor and told her. She did nothing. I went back to the teacher. She was a joke. She stood in front of the class and did nothing. I went to the principal. The principal called them in while I was sitting there, told them to stop, and gave them candy. And they walked out, laughing. They didn't stop. It got worse. Some of them rode the bus I rode, too. I got told I had my iPod in, and it was this iPod. I had it on low because they were sitting behind me and I wanted to hear everything they said because I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know, but I needed to, so I could tell people if they were saying stuff about me that wasn't true. And they got up when they got to their stop, and they passed by my seat, the one that did most of the laughing and the loudest bullying, and said I had been wearing my jacket, which is now oversized because I lost weight, and she pointed to me, laughed, and said I looked like a guy. I had really short hair that year because I just didn't want long hair. And the next day, later that day, I barely made it off the bus into my door before I started crying. I had to stop and have to actually try and unlock the door. But I ended up trying suicide after that. I'm still alive. It was an overdose. I didn't really take it, but it had been in my hand, and I had been this close to putting it in my mouth. It was NyQuil. It had been 6 pills of NyQuil. And then my best friend talked me out of that. She went to a different school at the time, and I had very few friends at this school. And I got called fat after that day. I got called fat and ugly, and got told I smelled, and I didn't know how to shower, and I just really didn't like it. And as it ended up, I didn't wear my hoodie one day when it was really warm, and I had worn a yellow shirt, and my mom lied and told me it was not see-through, and you could clearly see my bra through it, and it was a yellow shirt with a white bra, and I had a scarf on too, like a style scarf, and I passed the strictest teacher's dress code, and then I didn't, and once I got to one of my last classes, Spanish, I had a big test that day, and I sat in the front row, and this dude shouted out, "Look at that dirty bra." I'm positive I turned bright red, and I was crying. I thought about running out of that classroom, but that was pretty close to the end of the year, and once summer came, I ended up trying suicide again. It was right after, it was the next summer after that I tried suicide again. 8th grade year rolls around, I'm on yearbook staff, and this is one of the last ones before it all pretty much stopped until they were in my Spanish class again. And I had asked this dude out the previous year in 7th grade, and I had given him my phone number and a note in the last hour of the day right as the bell rang. He got home with his friend and called me, and this next year I had the dude walk up to the table I was stationed at because that's where he was supposed to go for pictures. He was like, "You know that dude's down there, right?" And then he turns to his friend and says, "Oh, she likes him, and she had sex with him, when I am completely abstinent until marriage." I couldn't speak. I got up and walked away. And my teacher, when I told her, brushed it off. And I went to my teacher, the counselor, again last year, and told her, I filled out a little slip that said I needed to see her as soon as possible. It said at this day. And I was pretty much in tears when I handed it to the secretary. And I never got called in. I went in 2 weeks later, and she's like, "Oh, it's a phase. You'll be okay. You're fine." She told this to everybody who came in, saying they were being suicidal. She didn't call my home. She didn't say anything to my parents. And because of this, I have PTSD. PTSD, sorry. It's post-traumatic stress disorder. It's mostly common in war vets. But I have it. I have panic attacks too. I'm an ex-cutter. I am also an ex-suicidal. I survived both attempts, thanks to my best friend. And I was nearly raped last year by a dude who was my boyfriend at the time. The dude I like now, he is, well, 586 miles away. And that's an awfully long way. It's a 9-hour drive, and almost 10. Well, thanks for listening, YouTube. You saw me cry. Feel proud. I don't cry in front of people much.